Good evening, everyone. Let's get started. I welcome all of you on behalf of Vartana for this webinar series. Myself, Gayatri. I work as an associate program manager at Vartana. So for this quarter Q3, our theme was like fostering a supportive school environment. Under that, today's webinar is about leadership redefined. Basically, how to create, build leading teams for school growth. So today agenda is that we'll start with an introduction and then we'll move on to the session objectives. Then we'll also look at the characteristic and impact of a high performing team. Then you'll also look at certain strategies on how to build this particular high performing team and what are the leadership techniques you can follow, a plan of action. Then we'll jump on to Q&A section and then we'll close the session with the feedback. Let's start with before moving on an objective, let's start with an introduction. I'm going to launch a poll. It's a participant profile poll. So whatever is your designation, please select the same and submit. So we'll get a fair idea about our audience. First, all of you please select the right option for you and submit. Okay, I'm gonna publish the result. As you can see, we have a good amount of school coordinator, teacher, and school leader combined. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to the session, let's look at the objective of today's session. We have three main objectives. One is to understand what are the features and impact of having an high-performing team in your school. Second, what are the strategy you can follow to bring this team in your school? Third, what are the leadership technique you must follow towards accomplishing the common goals? Let's go one by one. The very first thing is that we have to understand what is high performing team. Basically, with respect to school environment, it is a group of educators. It can be like teachers, principal, school leader, and then administrators and other staff working in the school environment together, where they are bringing their efficiency and productivity to achieve the common goal. It can be something like enhancing the student learning outcome or bringing a good culture or even the overall school performance. This is what we call as a high performing team. If you're wondering whether your team is high performing or not, let's look at the key characteristic of a high performing team. If you have all these characteristics, definitely your team is high performing. If not, do not worry. We'll guide you through how to build these high performing team. The very first characteristic is that they have a shared vision and goals. All of them, the school leader, principal, coordinator, teaching staff, non-teaching staff, everyone are towards the same vision and goal. It can be anything. It can be like school growth, school reputation, right? Whatever you decide, everyone has the same vision and same goals. The second most important thing is that they have a strong collaboration. Each and every one of your team member backs up the other, support each one, help each one to bring that goal into reality. Third one, they have open communication. They never ever hesitate to share their opinion or even feedback. It can be critical feedback as well. They never hesitate or they never hide to share their opinion and their thoughts because the environment is so safe. Fourth one is they know what is their responsibility is, right? And they perform the responsibility very well, and they also take accountability of their own actions. Next one, adaptability. They're very adaptable to the particular school environment. There is any crisis or any change happens in between, they quickly adapt and quickly work towards the vision and goal set. Most important thing is that they have huge amount of trust among each other and maintain a high respect for all the members. Everyone in this safe environment are respectable to others and have an immense amount of trust. Then the seventh one is they're all result oriented. They focus on the result because they have shared visions. They never hesitate to share anything. They have huge trust. They always focus on the result. How are we going to achieve? What we have achieved and how to fill the gap. Last but not least, they also give equal importance to their own professional development because ultimately developing oneself will always help the school to grow. So these are the key characteristics of a high performing team. If your team member has all these 8, well and good, you are having a high performing team. If there are few things absent, let's look at how to bring these things to your team. So before moving on to the next thing, since we saw about what is high performing team, what are the characteristics, I would like to know from your opinion as a school leader or be it coordinator or even a teacher, if you have a high performing team, what is the most significant impact your school will have? So I'm going to launch a poll here. So there are various options. You can select multiple options. So what do you think if you have a high performing team, what do you think will happen in your school? the most significant one. I would request everyone to please vote. You have multiple options. It can be improved student outcome, it can be retention, it can be efficiency, reputation, or even collaboration. If you have any other points apart from whatever we mentioned in the poll, please put it in the chat box as well. So I'm going to publish result. If you see, most of them are voted for increased efficiency in achieving school goals. I completely agree to that, right? Because we all set the goals at the beginning of the year or even at the start of the school. We want to achieve that goals. If you have a high performing team, there is no doubt about achieving this particular goal. And there are other options. Reputation is there, and you have put on student outcome as well. So let's move back. If you have any other option apart from that, please put it in the Q&A. Pradeep sir, I'll just address this at the last. So now let's look at in detail what are the impact a high-performing team can bring to your school. The very first one, improved student outcome, no doubt, because all of them are putting their 100% efficiency inside the classroom and beyond the classroom as well. So that it's going to ultimately increase the student outcome. Next, because this team is like high-performing, they have a lot of motivation to bring new things on the table, like be it innovation or how to achieve the growth. Third thing, they are good at problem solving because they are collaboratively working and their efficiency is increasing, right? So they can solve any kind of problem your school might encounter. And your school will have a better school culture because everyone is towards one particular goal. And then because there is a lot of respect and trust among the teachers, among all the people in the school, there is like high staff morale is there, and you also see the retention rate is high. Finally, it's gonna have a huge impact on your leadership skill. It's gonna strengthen because you're the one who is guiding this entire high performing team. It's gonna strengthen your leadership skill as well. So since we talked a lot about like high performing team, let's also understand what strategy you can use inside your school to build this high performing team. So there are few strategies, but here I'm gonna particularly look at three main strategies on building this high performing team. So one and most importantly, these three can be used at different situations. So whatever the situation at your school right now, you can pick any of these strategies and move to the next. The very first one is GRPA framework. We'll look at each one in detail. The second one is Tuckman stages of team development. This is a particular strategy which helps you to build that particular team building. Third one is Patrick Lenicon's 5 dysfunction of a team. If your team is anywhere having certain particular challenges or problem, this is the best strategy to pick it. So the Tuckman Patricks are the people who discovered this particular strategy. That's why the name has been given to according to them. So let's get started with GRPA framework. There are 4 dimensions to this particular framework. That is GRPI. What do we mean GRPA? So G means goal. So this particular team has a clear objective. They know what they have to work for, right? What they have to achieve by the end of the year. R means roles. They know what is the responsibility of each and everyone. There is a lot of clarity what one has to do, who's responsible for this particular task. P means processes. They know what system, what structure, what process one has to follow to achieve the better collaboration among the team and also achieve the goal given. Last one is I, which is called interpersonal relationship, right? Basically, it means the trust and communication among the team members. So this particular framework will work very best when you want to align your team and make sure everyone is working towards the shared vision or shared goals. So you're going to start from this particular framework, right? Where you want to align the team. Let's look with a particular example here. So now, say for example, I have a school, ABC school, right? Here, as a school leader, I want to improve student learning outcome. This is the one and only goal I have for my team for the upcoming quarter. So what I do, let's look at it in this way. What is the dimension, how to use it, and with an example. First one, as I said, G, which means define clear goals. So as a school leader, what will I do? It's my responsibility to come up with a specific objective I have to achieve. For example, grade A, let's take one small example. For grade A, I see there is a lot of people performing very less than average. I want to increase their math proficiency by 20% by the end of academic year. Say, for example, students are scoring 20%. Next time, I want them to score 40%. Now, the second dimension is R, which means clarify role. As a school leader, it is my responsibility based on understanding my team strength. I have to ensure who takes care of who takes care of what task. So what I'll do, I'll ask the teacher to focus on remedial class, and there can be subject lead, a specific well expert in maths. Those teachers, I can ask them to design the assessment in a different way, and I can ask coordinators to analyze all the data and see how are we progressing. Third, P, establish process. So as a school leader, I should know what structure or what system my team has to collaboratively work and review it. So what I'll do, I'll conduct a weekly meeting every week to understand what is a student performance, right? If there is any lag, we'll relook at it and we change the strategy. Fourth one, build interpersonal relationship. So it's absolutely school leader responsibility to bring that collaboration among the team. Basically, you have to, if I'm the school leader, I have to the one who have to create that environment where everyone has openly speaks and has huge amount of respect and trust towards the other team member. So how this gonna look at the example? Say for example, after team meeting and we saw what strategy worked, after achieving a particular goal or after 1 month or 1.5 months, I'll have a team reflection session. Now we all come together, we share our opinions, we say what worked, what didn't go well, and appreciate each and everyone. And even if I need to relook at the strategy, they can come up with their input, right? That's a safe environment I am going to create. So this is how the GRPI model works. Basically, if you want to achieve one particular task where you want all the team members to collaboratively work, this is how you start. Next, let's look at the, before moving on to them, let's look at the poll. So since you have understood about GRPI model, let's look at in a one situation, right? Say for your school, let's take your school as an example. Teachers from different departments are working really, really hard. Like science teachers are working hard, math teachers are working hard. They're putting their own individual effort. But there is an alignment issue. Basically, what we mean by alignment issue is that the maths and science teacher have a different priorities, right? They are not working towards the common goal, but individual goals. So they are not sure like where should they focus, how should their effort contributes, right? Now, as a school leader, if you are following GRPA model, what would be your G? So I'm going to launch a poll here. What would be a G? G basically means goals. You have 4 options. You can even look at the option displayed in the screen. In this case, what should be the G, the goal? Will it be clearly defined one, or it can be individual goals, or it can be general goals, or it can be like leadership decides, not discussed with the staff. Okay, I think everyone has voted. I'm going to publish the result. So most of you got it really correct. It is clearly defined, shared, measurable goals that all teachers and department can align with. So if you have a different goals, each one gonna work in a different way, and you're not going to achieve your overall goal, right? Maybe there is a good outcome in maths, good outcome in science, but as a school, you'll not be able to grow. So you should have a clear, defined, measurable goals where all the department aligns with. Now let's move on to the next framework. It's called Tuckman stage of team development. So this particular framework has 5 stages where each and every team experience this 5 stages at any given point, right? For to become a high performance team. So if you are a school leader or coordinator, you need to understand where is your team lying in this 5 stages and how you can navigate that particular issue or concern so that they can work collaboratively to achieve the common goal. So what are those 5 stages, right? The first one is called forming. Basically, it's a group of teachers who come meet each other, get to know about each other, know what one is doing, what is one had done in past, all of those things, right? It's forming. Second one is storming, where each one has a different perspective. One believes that my point is correct, other one believes his point is correct, and there is a lot of conflicts happening. Third stage is norming. All of the team members come together to understand, okay, let's come to a common ground and decide what we want to do. Now, fourth one is, once they have decided what they want to do, now each one of them are performing according to the common ground or common strategy designed. And finally, adjourning. After performing, now there is a time for them to reflect upon. We'll see through this as with a clear example, but this is the 5 stage of Tuckman of team development: forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. Okay. Now, where this particular framework will work very best. Say, for example, if you want to bring all of your team to decide upon one particular initiatives, be it like curriculum planning, or you want to organize a school event, or even if you want to implement certain projects, right? Where you want to bring everyone and everyone take certain action, come to particular ground and perform. In that case, Tuckman stage of team development works really, really good. Now let's look at with an example. Here, say for example, I'm a school leader. Let's take ABC school. My initiative for this academic year, it's like increasing student enrollment. I really want to increase my admission for the upcoming year. So let's look at in this way: the stages, the description, and an example. First one is forming. As I earlier mentioned, here team members will come and get to know each other and understand the goals. So what will I do? I'll bring everyone to a particular meeting, be it administrator, marketing staff, teacher, non-teaching staff, and tell them our common goal for this academic year is to increase the enrollment by 20%. Right? Now, what happens? The reality happens, right? Storming. What we mean by that? Here, everyone has their own idea and conflicts. So once I given the goal, what happens? The team members started debating, right? They say like, one say like, let's go with digital ads. Let's give ads, social media ads, or be it TV ads, right? One other says like, let's do in-person event. Let's go door-to-door campaign. Let's give the pamphlet. And each one are giving the different ideas, and they are defending that my idea is the best. Good thing each one is giving idea, but we are not, there is a lot of heat happening inside the particular meeting. Third is called norming, where everyone understands that they have to work collaboratively and understand their role. So what I'll do, as a school leader, I make sure that they reach to this particular stage where we are agreeing, okay, if you want to do digital marketing, let's do digital marketing, right? You are the person who's responsible for digital marketing. You take care of that. You want to do events? Okay, let's form a group of people who support you. Let's do local events. And I'm going to divide the task among all the team members, so that here I'm respecting their opinion and also giving the chance for them to explore, because ideally these strategies should work for bringing the enrollment, right? Now, performing. What will they do? They put their 100% efficiency to achieve the goal, because they are the one who set this idea, right? So what will do? Whatever team I assigned, they do digital marketing, they'll like efficiently do that, and whoever is responsible for conducting campaign events, so the team just work really to speak efficiency, and they see there are a lot of new inquiries about the admission is coming, and there is a lot of application has been filled, right? Now we can see, okay, we are getting some kind of result. I'm getting a lot of admission inquiries. The last one is adjourning, which is very important, where the team concludes a particular task and reflects. This is very essential, right? Why? Because say for example, now after 3 months, right, I'm getting a lot of admission inquiry. There is a lot of application. We as a team has achieved the target. Now what we'll do as a team, we'll come back, sit and understand through which strategy we got the maximum admission. What digital marketing did, what door-to-door campaign did, what event did. So we as a team, we sit and understand, okay, how much cost has gone for each of these strategy. At last, what is the enrollment we got from each strategy? And as a team, we decide which strategy worked better, so that in future, we'll start from that strategy. Instead of spending on every other strategy, as a team, now we conclude, oh, we did an experiment here. Now these two strategies, it's very fruitful. They are giving a lot of results. And now let's use these two strategy for the future. This is how the Tuckman stages of team development happens. They get to know each other. They have conflict about their own opinion. Then you interfere and you set a thing that, okay, let's do all of the perspective you are given. Then they perform really well. And finally, as a team, we conclude this strategy worked better. So this is how the team from knowing to performing works, right? I hope this is clear. If you have any doubt, please put it in the chat box. Now, again, here I want to ask a poll. So now, say for example, a particular school, be it your own school, right, is going to set an academic goals for the upcoming year, right? But some teachers are telling that let's focus on improving the test scores, like 10th and 12th let's focus on improving that particular scores, right, through certain intervention. Whereas the other group of teachers are telling NEP is there, we have to give importance to that. Let's focus on holistic development, right? Whereas a few other teachers are saying, let's do project-based learning so that the children will have a better learning. So there is a lot of clash and a lot of opinions, intense discussion is happening. What stage of Tuckman model this particular scenario represent? So I'm going to repeat the question. There is a lot of disagreement is happening, a lot of opinion clashes happening. There is a intense heat discussion going on, saying that my idea is better, we should go ahead. So what particular stage of development this particular scene is now? Whether it's forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. There's a lot of intense heat is happening, disagreement is happening. So disagreement is a keyword. I'll wait for 1 more minute for everyone to answer. I'm going to publish result. I think only 2 people got it right. It's basically they are in storming. If you look at the question really clearly, I said it's disagreement, right? There is opinion clash. There is intense discussion is happening, which means storm. Storm, understand storm, right? Where everything is getting collapsed. So this particular school right now is in storming. Then they can move to norming, performing, adjourning. But right now they are in storming stage. So next time, whenever you wanted to take particular initiative or any decisions, or any particular thing about your school where you need all the team member to come and then therefore take it forward, see where your particular team is in with respect to that particular scene, right? In this scene, they are in storming stage. Now, they have to move to norming stage. So next time, whenever you get to sit with your team members for any particular initiative or any decision you want to take, understand what stage they are in, then slightly guide them to move to the next stage so that they perform and then they reflect. Moving forward, the last strategy is Patrick Lencioni's 5 dysfunction of a team. So whenever we talk about team, it's not always that great picture comes in our mind, right? It's not just always like team are collaboratively working. They are like together. They have a lot of trust. Team also means there is a lot of challenges happening within them, right? There is like fear, there is conflict, there is no trust at all, there is no accountability. Some are very lethargic, some are irresponsible. All these people come together as a team. Like even if you go back and look at your team, there will be some people who fall under any of these buckets. But it's as a school leader or coordinator, it's your responsibility to take certain action and navigate them to work better, right? For that, you have to understand what is the issue or where is the issue is. So this particular framework helps you to understand that only. Where is the issue with respect to your team? So there are 5 things. One is absence of trust. It can be any of these 5 or combination of 5 or all of 5, right? So you have to reflect and you have to understand. There is no trust among the team members. They feel a bit of like, okay, I don't trust these people. I'm just here, do my job and go back, right? And there is fear of conflict. They say if I share my opinion, if I say something to the school leader or a coordinator, they might come back to me or they might take certain actions against me. So better I don't share any point at all, even if I have a good one, right? That's called fear of conflict. They don't want any conflict with anyone. Lack of commitment. As I said earlier, I'm just here, come do my job and go back. I get some salary. I'm happy with it. I'm making some money. I don't want to really bring any change in the school or with respect to students. That is called lack of commitment. 4th one, avoidance of accountability. They take certain actions, but their actions would have caused certain consequences. This particular person is not ready to be accountable. They are not accountable at all. So they are like, they never say that I made a mistake or this is the step I have taken. They're like, they either blame others or they avoid totally the accountability of that particular action. And final one is they really don't care about the result. Whatever goal you set, I really don't care about the result. I come, I do, I go. I don't worry about the result at all. It's your high time that you reflect upon where your team members fall under these 5 issues, right? Dysfunctions. You can be also having some team member who is not at all falling in this dysfunction. Those are the one who we call the high performing performers, right? But if you have someone in this particular dysfunction, what are you gonna do, right? That is what this particular framework will help you. So basically, this framework is very, very efficient to understand what is your team lacking, right? And it also helps you to come up with a strategy to overcome that lacking. Now let's see with a particular example. So here the example I've taken is teacher engagement towards school growth. As a school leader, I've seen my teachers are not very engaging towards school growth, right? So we'll discuss with like this way. Challenges, how to address with example. First one is absence of trust. So in my school, there is no trust at all. So what is the step we have to do? First, we have to ensure we have to make sure you have a safe environment where the trust can be built. How do you do that, right? What I should do? I should make sure my teachers are feeling safe, not just teachers, all the staff members, right? and they don't have issue about sharing anything to anyone, because deep down they know that there will be no consequence they face if they share their honest opinion, right? This will build that trust gap. Next, fear of conflict. So how do you erase this one? So you have to make sure they are having constructive debates, right? If there is some friction, if you see under two teachers, you have to make sure, let them come and communicate. Let it be a very collaborative and constructive debate, so that end of the day they will go back with a mutual points. Example, what will I do in a meeting? Say for example, I'm giving particular task, the teachers are very unclear, right? So I've asked them, like, what is your issue? What do you think about this particular goal? Will it be achievable, or it is too over optimistic, right? And I ensure that all your opinions matter, even the opinions seem to be a negative way, right? So that they know, okay, I can talk now, I can give my honest opinion, so that certain good amount of measures will be taken. That's how you eradicate. Third one, lack of commitment. Those lethargic team members, what do you do with them? So what I'll do, I make sure that they are the one, I make sure that they are owning the school goals, right? They are the one who's accountable for that. How do you do that? Along with those teachers, you sit, you create the growth plan for your school. Okay, why do they feel like that? Because they don't feel they're part of the school. So I'm going to eradicate that root cause. So I'm going to sit with them. Together, we are going to design the growth plan of my school, so that they feel, okay, I'm part of it. I am responsible. My school leader is giving me so much of importance. I have to give my best, because they are the one who is committing to that particular goal. Definitely, they'll give their best. Fourth one, avoidance of accountability. How do you reduce these people, or how do you address these people? You have to set the expectation very, very clearly, what is expected from them, and you have to track the progress regularly. So what I'll do, I'll ask teacher to report their contribution for a week, right? What did you do for the week? What are your actions towards school growth? You take this initiative, you have taken this initiative. What is happening? What is the progress? So this make sure that, okay, next week, my school leader is going to ask certain questions about what did I did. So let me take responsible, let me do certain actions, so that I have some concrete good things to share. Last one is inattention to results. How do you address these people? You have to keep them focused about, this is my goal, and you have to make sure you're also celebrating their achievements. Why don't they care about result? Because they either they don't feel it's my school, they don't take that pride over it, or even if I give my 100%, nobody is going to recognize me. They are in that nutshell, right? You have to break all these things. So what I will do, I'll equally track all the teacher contribution, be it inside the classroom or outside the classroom. So I have milestone for each and everything. Whenever they achieve that particular milestone, I make sure that we celebrate those achievements, right? Celebration doesn't always mean it have to be big thing. Just in a team meeting, calling out the name, giving that recognition. This particular teacher has did a great job last month. The student learning outcome is immensely improved, right? Or this particular teacher has put a lot of effort in conducting after school class. She's putting so much of she's putting a lot of effort. Let's together appreciate them. That word of appreciation is also enough for a teacher to bring that okay, I have to be part of this particular goal. So this is what you do whenever you see certain people, or any one of your team member, or all of your team members falling under any of these challenges. That's how you address the challenge, and you navigate them or address the particular issue, so that they collaboratively work towards a shared goals. And we have one more poll here. There is a particular school called Sunrise Academy. They wanted to launch a new parent engagement program, so that the parents are collaboratively working with the school for better learning outcomes, right? So the leadership team, like all the heads, coordinator, teachers, everyone, so they have wanted to plan and execute these initiatives, right? But when they had a first set of meeting, the two issues came. One is that there are certain team members don't like to take any ownership at all. They're like, I'm not going to take that responsibility, right? Basically because they don't want that extra burden, or they might miss the deadline, right? And again, second issue was, there are certain members who hesitate to raise their concern, who hesitate to raise their voice, right? Basically, they have that fear that, okay, everyone will judge me. This is not such a good point. So I'll better keep my mouth closed, right? I'm not going to talk about anything at all. So in a team meeting, these are the two things as a school leader or coordinator you are noticing. So where does these two team members or which situation they are lying right now? I'm going to launch poll. Just give me a moment. So one is that I have launched poll. One is that they are not taking any ownership at all, right? I'm not going to do this work. I'm not being responsible at all for this particular task. And second set, there is one teacher who is like very hesitant to raise her opinion. So there are two situations. What are the two situations you think are here with respect to Patrick's dysfunctions team? Wait for one more minute. Just 6 people have voted. I'm going to publish the result. Many of you got it really correct. So the first case, if you look at, I'm not going to take any responsible at all, right? That means avoidance of accountability, right? The second case, where I don't want to raise my voice. What if everyone judges me? That is called fear of conflict. Good that all of you got, most of you got correct. Thank you all for giving your points. Let's go back now. So far we talked about high performing team. What are the strategies a school leader or coordinator you should do, right? But it's very important that leadership technique is also discussed. Why? It's easy to talk about all the framework, but if the particular leadership, be it school leader or a principal or coordinator, whoever is heading the particular team, they are the crucial ones to make sure that they encourage, they motivate the team so that the success is maintained or they get through the success. Because it's not just authority, right? You do this work, you do that work, this is the goal, let's work. It's not like that. They are the one who is going to inspire them. They are the one they bring that curiosity. They are the one who is going to provide the direction. They are the one who has a clear understanding what is strength of my team or what my team need to focus, right? So as a leader, you should know certain techniques or certain skill to make sure not just the strategies part, but also these skills will help you to build the high performing team or maintain the high performing team. So what are those? Very first one, the leader is the one who is responsible to create the vision, because you are the visionary leader. You know what your school want to do or where your school should be in the upcoming year. So you should be the one who have to create vision, but that vision should be shared vision. Like everyone is able to relate and everyone is able to align. Now, it's your responsibility to set the clear expectation. This is what I expect from my teaching staff. This is what I expect from my administrator. This is what I expect from my coordinator. You should know what you expect and set that expectation very clearly. Third one, it's your responsibility to engage your team in a very, very productive way. Fourth one, it's your responsibility to create a safe environment or even make sure that everyone collaboratively works, right? So that maximum productivity is reached. Fifth one, again, it's leader responsibility to know where the team lacks and provide the necessary support and training so that you are empowering them as well as making sure the goal is achieved. Next, again, it should come from the leader, right? Any kind of recognition or reward, if it comes from the leader who leads a team, it is so valuable. Then you are the one who should also encourage open communication, because you are the one who's also inspiring, right? You are the one who's responsible for creating the safe environment where your teachers feel, okay, my school leader, even if I share critical feedback, he will try to understand my point or he will give time for me to elaborate that point without any kind of judgment. Final one, the most important one, leader should lead by example. If you want your team members to be 100% committed, 100% accountable, 100% responsible, you should be more than that, right? You should also be responsible. You should also be accountable. You should also do whatever you expect from your teachers or team to do. You should lead by example so that you are inspiring them to follow your footsteps. So this is what a leadership techniques or skill as a leader you should have to make sure, apart from the strategy, you are able to build the high performing tool. Now let's look at a case study here. Say for example, you are an owner of a Bright Future Academy. It's a K-12 school, right? Which has an excellent academic performance and innovation. The school has like good results. They bring a lot of innovation inside the schoolroom, right? But recently you feel that the productivity is reduced. There is like less morale between the staffs. And then you got to know there are three main issues, right? You have to address. One, the new digital learning initiative you wanted to introduce, teachers are not using at all, right? They are feeling that I'm not confident to use this one. I'm not using this particular program. The second one is there is always conflict between senior staff and junior staff, which brings some kind of toxic environment. Third one is Your admin team is so frustrated that they don't know their roles and responsibility. They got a lot of work beyond their responsibility, and they're missing deadlines because there is no clarity at all. Now, since you got to know these three main issues are the reason for your less productivity, as a team, as a school leader, what technique or which technique you follow so that all these issues are eradicated? You can put down your answers in the chat box. So we discussed lot many techniques, right? I'm just gonna show you the techniques. So that there are three problems. One, teachers are not that you bought an excellent technology. Teachers are not ready to use because they don't feel confident at all about using that particular technology. Second one, the problem here is there is always a conflict between senior staff and junior staff, which brings toxic environment to your school. Third one is your admin are missing so many deadlines because they do a lot of work. They don't know what is their roles and responsibility. They end up doing multiple tasks, so missing the major deadlines, right? So now, what are the, among these 8 or beyond this 8 as well, what are the techniques as a school leader or a coordinator you should follow to eradicate these issues? Please put it in the Q&A box. Let's go one by one. How do you eradicate the first issue? The teachers are not feeling confident. So as a school leader, what do you do? You can even raise your hand if you want to talk, or you can put it in the Q&A box. Really like everyone to open up and speak. Here the question is that teachers are not using technology because they're not confident at all. So as a school leader, what you'll do? Okay, let's take second one. There is some kind of conflict between your junior staff and junior staff and senior staff. How do you eradicate that? I see one hand raised. I'm gonna allow to talk. Debabrata, sir or man, I'm not sure. Please, I have unmuted from my end. Please unmute from your end and you can talk. Okay, someone said, MN Prakash sir said, train the teachers to get accurate. Absolutely, right? They're not feeling confident about using technology. So as a school leader, what you have to do? You have to train them. Great. Thank you, sir. Support training and provide opportunity for open communication. Absolutely. Because there is some kind of conflict happening around. They're not able to share that as well. So you have to provide an open communication. Good. What about
Hello.
the yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Though almost all the techniques will be applicable more and less, but the most important thing is that first of all, expectation should be set. After that, clear communication, and then the engagement and motivation is required. If I say properly, empower and engage, that is important. But set clear expectations, that is also very important.
Yes. Absolutely, sir. Banged it. Yeah, you nailed it. Yes, you should know. As a school leader, you should know.
So other techniques are also more or less important.
Yes, absolutely, sir. All of these techniques
Because
are
whenever you empower and engage, then definitely collaboration also will come. And to engage them, proper support also required, and for motivation, recognition is also required. But I think second and third are the most important here.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I can see few responses the chat box as well. For third one, Manju Mama said clear expectation. Yes, here the case is admin doesn't know what is their roles and responsibility, right? And some of you already mentioned share views and discuss. Absolutely. So as sir said and other people said, the first one is you should empower, engage them. How do you do that? You should provide training. You should also help them to understand what are the benefits they can have if they use the technology properly, right? So that a confidence is built. Second one, resolve conflicts. How do you do that? As somebody already mentioned, open communication. You should encourage that the environment is healthy and safe so that they come openly and talk and trust is rebuilt. And final one, many of you have mentioned, they should know what is their role and responsibility. So you have to set that expectation clearly. You have to say, okay, this is your responsibility. This is very important task. You have to only do the rest of the thing so that they know, okay, these are not priority tasks. I can do it later as well to avoid the confusion. Thank you so much, everyone. You guys have told the correct points. Let's move forward. So I'll just brief what we told. We have discussed about high performing team, its characteristic, what are the strategies as a school leader you have to do, and as well as a school leader, what technique or skill you need to have to bring this high performing team in your school. Let's also complete the session with an understanding that what is the next step? I've learned few things from the session, but now I have to go back to my school and implement. How do I do that? You have 4-step process, right? First, the very first thing as a school leader, you should know your team performance. You have to evaluate, right? Without any kind of biasness, you should be able to evaluate your team. Once you know their strength, weakness, or area of improvement, the next step is you have to choose a strategy. If you feel that all of your team members are having no trust, no accountability, no commitment, then your first strategy would be fight dysfunction, right? Or if you feel that there is some kind of initiative you have to take, but your team members are not coming together for under common grounds, then you have to go for Tuckman 5 stage of development, norming, storming, those things, right? So once you understand your team, the second one is you have to choose a particular strategy. Once you have done that, now you also need to know what are the leadership technique you should have so that your strategy is very, very efficient. Like sir mentioned, as a school leader, you should know your you should set the expectation clearly. You should also empower them, engage them. So according to your strategy, make sure you also have that leadership technique in hand to be followed. And finally, assess and adjust. This particular strategy worked or not. Just do a simple assessment and see or adjust it. Let's take an example and discuss this. Now, this might be very text heavy. I'll just explain it in a very simple term. The first one is, as a school leader, you should evaluate your team performance. So what I'll do, I'll conduct a assessment for my teachers, my entire team, to understand what is their performance. So I'll take 1 week of time. But how do I do that? Should have some framework to do it, right? You can have your own framework which you're following, or you can use this 360-degree feedback form. I'll show you it. I can use that as well. So what it's gonna bring? It's gonna help me to understand or derive insights about my team, right? So the survey will help me to know, okay, this is what my team is lacking, or this is what my school is lacking, or this is they are doing really, really better. So once I understand that clear view of that, next I can choose a strategy. But before that, I'll show you what is this 360-degree feedback. So this is a simple tool. What do we mean by 360 is that you're going to get feedback from about a particular staff from everyone, including themselves. Say I'm working as a teacher in ABC school. So first, this feedback form will be given to me. I'll do self-assessment, and this feedback form will be passed all to my colleagues and the parents I'm working with, and not students, because students will be very small, right? But if the students are older one, you can give them that feedback form as well, and other non-teaching staff as well. So now all of them, including myself, have to fill this feedback form for me. This is what 360 mean by. So there are various areas I put down. So you can put this rating scale, 1 to 5. 5 means highest point, 1 means lowest point. So here, if you look at, I divided into multiple sessions. Instructional effectiveness, like how good they are with respect to the subject matter skills, with respect to the instruction given in the classroom. Next, how good they are with respect to classroom management. I'm not going to go one by one question. I'll share this with you, all of you. You can go back and look at each and every question. If there is any question which is not relevant, you can put as not applicable. The next section is about communication and interpersonal skills, right? Then I'll also understand the feedback on collaboration and professional development. Are they very serious about developing themselves? How efficiently they're collaborating with others? And then how are they engaging students? Are students feeling motivated? Are students are willing to learn? How students are looking at, right? Then punctuality and professionalism. It's highly expected from a teacher, right? How are they professionally behaving? How punctual they are? And any additional feedback. So this you can circulate to colleagues, parents, and particular teacher, and you as a school leader as well. So once everyone has filled down this particular, everyone will get a separate copy, and they'll put on marking from or scoring from 1 to 5. Once you have collected, say for example, this feedback from all of them, now what you have to do is that you have to analyze. So I've just told you how to use this tool. You have to give it to all people, whoever the particular teacher interacts, and then once you collect that, you have to analyze, right? Look for these these 3 important things, right? What is the key strength is keep on repetitively mentioned in the feedback form for a particular teacher, right? And look at the important area, and you come to a conclusion. Okay, this particular teacher's key strength is subject knowledge expert. She's so expert in the subject she's handling, and the area of focus, or the, say for example, this particular teacher is not really collaborative, doesn't like to work with others. She like to work individually. Now these are the 2 things you have. Yes, their strength, their area of improvement. Right now we have to come back to the action plan. What you will do? So let's go back here. So using this 360-degree form, you got a better idea about what each and every team member's performance is. Right now, second one is choose a strategy. So there are 3 strategies I discussed. You can implement in 2 weeks. Let's take the example of that particular teacher who is good at subject but doesn't really like to collaborate. Then I'll start with Tuckman, forming, norming, storming, right? I'll start with Tuckman because that is his better framework to foster collaboration, where I'll ask them to discuss, even if it is a conflict, even if it is a different opinion, let them storm, let them have a heated debate, and then they'll come to norming. Next, pick an effective leadership technique. So for this particular case, what I'll do, as a leader, what should I do? I know what my team need to be doing, what is the goal they have to achieve, and it's my responsibility to provide feedback, also track the progress. So what I'll do, I'll just have smart goals or pick certain, like give clarity, set expectation, all of those things, right? And create a safe environment as well. Assess and adjust. Now you do the same thing, right? Either you can give a shorter form of 360 feedback, or you can observe them at all the team meetings or inside the classroom. So the problem here is the teacher is not collaborating with others. After a quarter, like after 3 months, see how they are doing it. Get feedback from the immediate colleagues, right? And now you have better idea. Okay, there is some kind of improvement. The strategy is working really good. Now let's move to the next. If the strategy is not working good, you have to pick another strategy. So this is how you do. This is the action plan for you to build a cohesive or build a high performing team. It might be seen as a huge task for a school leader because you guys are really have lot many things in your plate. But once it's a one-time investment type, right? Once you did this for a team, it's gonna give lot of returns eventually, timely. It's gonna happen. The returns gonna come back to you at like regular intervals. So do not hesitate to do that one-time investment of setting that high performing team or building that high performing team. So we are almost at the last of our session. Let's quickly summarize what we learned today. Very first thing is high performing team, a dream come true for any school leader. It's important for school success, right? And better outcomes. Second one, the school leader or the coordinator or the principal should know how to use the framework to bring that efficiency among each and every team member. Third one is it's leaders responsible to inspire and others, right? So you should have that leadership techniques so that you are sustaining the high performance in your school for a long term. So this is what we have gone through in today's session. I'll quickly share a feedback form, but before that, I'll also just brief about the academic solutions which we are partnered with. One is Lead School. It's a tech-based learning solution which also provides curriculum and technological materials to your school. Second one is CAN. CAN is a multimedia computer which also acts as a data projector, which creates a vibrant and creative learning space. So if you have any doubts, any concerns, or if you want to know more about any kind of program with Vartana offers, please feel free to write at hello@vartana.com or contact this number. So somebody asked question about Vartana organization, please write it to the particular mail ID, or you can go back to Vartana website and look for the opportunity which you are willing to take upon. Have a nice weekend. Thank you all.